is he a woodchuck or a groundhog? Clay Henry's with us. Do you know the difference between these two animals, or the name, or where the geographic point is where one is the other? What is a groundhog a woodchuck? Help me out.
They're just nasty creatures that live in the ground. I don't know. I thought they were different. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know either, but I know that we're supposed to celebrate one of them for some reason today.
Yeah,
and
if I see one that runs across the road from a ditch, I don't dodge them.
Good. I think the first animal I ever killed was a woodchuck. I just didn't mean to. I ran him over.
That's what I'm saying. Don't dodge them, because you can flip your truck dodging them.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that.
I was taught that. Yeah.
So let's see. What do we hit on here? I want to ask about you're somebody that's done hiring before, Clay. You've had to do job interviews with people. This is something I've never done before. I've had to sit down and be interviewed a couple of times for a job, though it's been like 22 years since I had to do that. And I know the NFL can institute rules about the way that the owners have to go through certain standards in order to get to their choice as head coach. And while you can mandate to force somebody to have someone sit in a chair in front of them based upon their race in this case, the NFL can't mandate at all that an owner has to hire a certain kind of a person. You can't mandate what's in that person's mind. And so often, and I think that's the case with the Giants, they know who they want as their head coach before the interviewing process even starts.
Yeah, I heard a lot of advertising salespeople early on in the life of Hawgs Illustrated, and took a little while to get that right. And I didn't have any leadership training per se. I did go to some classes when I was assistant sports editor at the Tulsa World, and knew that I would probably be the sports editor, and there was some management training there, but it didn't entail interview processes and how you do that. And I've since read a lot of books and read a lot of management coaching books, and one of them just is really strong that kind of stuck with me is take a long time in the hiring process and then fire quickly. And that when you know that it's the wrong person, you move on quickly. But you take a long time in the vetting and make sure, and that way you don't have quick hires, and and I'm not saying that I've done that, because the people that work with me now, they're 22 years, 17 years, and 14 years. So I haven't done much hiring lately, or none. And so I don't, but I will say this: anytime you get a chance for an interview, there is the potential that you will be hired. Two things: one, the obvious choices may turn them down. They may fail in the vetting process. They may be as simple as their wife says, "We're not going there," and that happens more often than you think. And nobody will ever say that, but that's that is part of the process, is to make sure the family it's going to work. So you go and you do the interviews, and you might be the fourth choice. You might, what was Sam Pittman? I don't know how many choices they went through before they got to him. But you don't know, and you may not have the right perfect, everything, but you still might get the job. So I would think that if Brian Flores is getting interviews, he better just keep going to them. But I think, what he's done now is probably the end of the road, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he went full nuclear war on the NFL with this. You take him to court over it, and I doubt there's going to be another owner that has him sitting in the chair in front of him. Sounded to me, though, that Stephen Ross might have needed to ask him during the interview process, how are you with tampering? Because that's what we're planning to do to get our next quarterback.
Can you be a little shady?
Yeah, can you be a little bit shady? I don't know if he asked of those questions.
Yeah, it's all, that there's some stuff that I would label as sordid going on, behind the scenes. And gosh, you remember the bonuses that the hit bonuses that they were paying in New Orleans for a while. And there's stuff that goes on there. I think the NFL it's the big league in all ways, right? So it's unbelievable business. What's the Super Bowl ticket? They say it's going to be the most expensive one ever. You've got a home team playing, and you've also got Hollywood vying for tickets. Because it's L.A. But it's the business of the NFL is just unbelievable. And so when you have that kind of money at stake, there's going to be stuff that goes on that that may turn your stomach a little bit sometimes.
Well, and I think that's also an issue that fans are having with college football now, just because they feel it's professionalized in some ways. And it is, and it is. Yeah, I mean, when money is being exchanged to the players, no matter who it's coming from, there's going to be a professional aspect to it. So. And I've always heard so often, some people love college football because it's not the NFL and not professional, and now that's changing, and people are having a lot of trouble kind of, grasping that in their mind.
Yep. I gravitated to college baseball a few years ago because I felt in some ways that what was happening with football and basketball, that the players had just kind of become rock stars, and you didn't see that. With the college baseball players, I don't know, a lot of them are walk-ons, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, many of them are walk-ons.
It's hard to be a rock star when you're all splitting 11.7 scholarships.
No, that's right. And it just, maybe that made them more accessible. Maybe it made them more interesting to me. I don't know. But it's when I watch college sports, and I'm not saying necessarily Arkansas, but I watched the Auburn-Alabama game last night, and my mind just kind of races. Okay, I wonder how much that guy got. I wonder how much that guy got. I wonder if that guy should get more. He's pretty good too, but I bet that guy got the most. And that's where we're at now, with college sports. And you see the women's basketball and that, and you think, well, yeah, there's still some amateurness to that. So you travel with that team, and those they're not sending their clothes to the cleaner. They're washing their own clothes, all that kind of stuff, right, Phil? I mean,
I don't know what the laundry practices are for the team, but maybe I'll ask them on the flight to.
No, but I mean, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yes, I know what you mean. And I know Michaela Daniels has an NIL deal. I don't know what how much it is that she's getting, but I know she did get something. I think she was the first of the women's basketball players to get one of those. 877-377-6963 if you got any questions for Clay. We'll have him on in the upcoming segment. And you mentioned Auburn put up a 100 against Alabama. My gosh.
They
100-81. LSU keeps losing. That's fun. Don't worry about LSU. I see people complaining. LSU's ranked. We're not ranked. What's the problem here?
Forget
Need
LSU to win, though. Got to make that win better. All about the net ranking. We need the net.
Don't worry about the rankings, folks. Forget about them. They don't matter. Net rankings matter. And so does Clay Henry. That's why we have him for 2 segments instead of 1. So stay with us.
Okay, so the other wisdom that I gave you during the break was, we're going to have ice here in the Mountain Home area. I live in Norfolk. I have my golf shoes ready in case I need to walk outside. You wear golf shoes
that
when
actually
there's
works.
Ice and snow. It's better than wearing slick tennis shoes. I'll put it that way.
I guess I got to put my golf shoes by the front door tomorrow.
I don't own a pair of golf shoes, but I do own a pair of metal spikes
that works.
Baseball shoes. This will work too.
I think they're called cleats there, Phil. Not
just don't put them
shoes.
on inside. Wait, take them outside and put them on. You don't want to mess up your hardwood floor.
Oh, I don't own the place, so who cares?
You want your deposit back? Come on.
Well, they'll care some place down the road.
Back anyway. We'll just have some
fun.
But
I've got firewood in the fireplace, and I've got firewood stacked on the porch. I've got extra sets of batteries. So now the clincher is our daughter lives about 800 yards from us, and they have one of those whole home generators that comes on automatically. But I think we're fearing, the ice and lost power here in this area. Haven't had a lot of ice since we've lived here, so that the limbs are probably just perfect to just crash down on them.
That's right. That means you are by far, this is the timing for it to happen. The other piece of wisdom, he drops so much wisdom.
Well, I need his wisdom because I'm going to the grocery store today, and I can't get milk, bread, or toilet paper. What other essentials should I try to get? Batteries. Okay.
Flashlights.
That's right.
I think I might have to buy a flashlight.
Oh,
Don't
you need
forget-
a flashlight? Yeah, that's where I'd start.
Okay.
Don't forget the kosher salt so that you can walk
That's right.
outside your front door. Because I don't think you'll find the rock salt any longer. That stuff's probably gone. The other thing Clay told us is you kind of forget. Today's supposed to be a college football holiday, like a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Today's National Signing Day. No, it isn't.
Nothing's coming across the ticker.
That's Arkansas
Been there,
signing
done that.
nobody today.
That was in December.
I mean, the last time we had you on and we talked about recruiting about this, Clay, you said you think that early signing period may end up going away.
Well, I think it's going to be I think they're going to move it to somewhere in January. It won't be February, first Wednesday in February. It won't be in December, but it'll be, after the bowl games. So I think the reason being, what I've been told, is that it just is so damaging for new coach hires, and that's part of the reason why you see terminations be earlier and earlier in the season, so that the new coach can get a start on recruiting, because recruiting is going to hit as soon as the season's over. And, they've got to be organized in what, evaluation of roster, and then, evaluation and determination of who they want. I can remember when Bielema became coach, there were 2 or 3 players that were committed to the previous staff that he didn't take. Those were lame duck coaches, John L. Smith and those guys that were committing players. And, then I think there were a few of them that I think Brett may have said, well, the academics were such. I don't think that. I mean, I think he just decided he didn't want them. Didn't fit what they were going to do. And if they don't want you, you don't want them either. It's better for them to find someplace else.
And if your idea works out to where they move it to January, probably right after the week or two after the national championship game, then that's also peak portal season. Does that help kind of manage rosters better and kind of know what you are going to have, or is that going to affect anything?
I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't have the answer.
Well, something I do know you have the answer with the basketball game tonight, and it feels like if there is such a thing as trap game karma, that tonight would probably be it. But it's not going to happen, is it?
Oh, there's all kinds of strange things that can happen. But I mean, you play on the road. Georgia's they got some good players. They don't, to me, have a complete roster. You saw one of their best players from last year playing at Auburn last night. I mean, he's terrific. But not. I mean, they beat Alabama, so I don't know. I mean, they seem to be, don't stop very many people, their defense. So that's in Arkansas plays defense. But, yeah, anything can happen on the road. And, I saw a lot of fouls called last night in the Auburn-Alabama game. You can, you get the – Arkansas is playing a really short rotation. Jalen Williams and J.D. Notte, they cannot be in foul trouble tonight. That's the thing to watch for. Those are you might lose one, but you can't have them both sitting down. So on the road, that's what you worry about, is foul trouble.
I do worry if J.D. ends up with foul trouble in a major game, because I'm not quite sure where the offense comes from if he's not on the court. I know Stanley can drop it every once in a while. Jalen can put it up, but I mean, you need a shooter.
You need
a
Chris
scoring
Likes?
guard. You need somebody that can drive,
Likes
and Likes has not been scoring.
And it seems like the big long teams are just trapping him. Like they're going to make him give up the ball, and he's he lacks a little bit of strength, and and he's a defensive liability. You're in the SEC now. There's not little guards, so you can post him up. And I just think that they're lacking one more guard on this team. Devo has not been what I call a consistent player, and so you put him at the point and you got turnovers. So anyway, that's they're playing one guard and 4 forwards. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
All the forwards can handle the ball, and all of them can play defense, and they seem to do all right no matter who they cover. They can exchange players, and that's what's made them tough. Is that they can switch and cover anybody that's out there on the floor. And their defense, it travels, and that's why you should win tonight.
Well, and you hit on exactly the thing that I'm a little worried about with this team, because I think defensively they're going to be just fine unless a couple guys get into foul trouble here and there, and that's the same thing offensively. I don't know. Like last year, you had J.D. Notte as the spark off the bench. If you didn't have a good start, bring in J.D., and the next thing you know, maybe you have a 4-point run, 6-point run, and you expected him to start this year. I thought Likes would be that sixth man spark to come off the bench and give you the points and the energy when you need it. Devo is the one who's the sixth man right now, and that's where you're talking about that inconsistency. And so I can feel exactly what you're saying, and I agree wholeheartedly with you on that.
I mean, he gives you consistency defensively, and that's why you can play him. But sometimes he tries to do too much. And, you see the eye contact between the head coach and him is like, no, I don't want that. And then he'll calm down a little bit. But I think he's getting better. But he does have the ability to get a clutch defensive rebound and run down a loose ball. And that's what you love about Devo, is that he does sense when the moment is big and he's not afraid of it. But, yeah, he has not been quite what I thought he would be this year. And probably everybody would say that. I'm not bringing a great revelation, right?
Yeah, I think
we'd all agree.
I would imagine he would have, if he's being honest, I would agree the same thing. Very good player and still a very important player for this program. And Clay, you're important too, but we've run out of time. Appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you all for having me.
Thanks,
you got it.
Stay safe.
It's always fun to have Clay Henry from Hawgs Illustrated with us. We'll have him next Wednesday too. Bill King joining us bottom of the next hour as we slide into the second half of the week on halftime. 877-377-6963. And, of course, there will be plenty of Sonny and Cher over the next 60 minutes.
Might be less football being played, but BetOnline has way more stuff to bet on this playoff season. From scored, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all things NFL betting in 2022. And with the new year comes a new updated desktop and mobile website. Sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's BLEAV. And it's not just football. BetOnline's basketball, hockey, boxing, and UFC odds coverage is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.